I mean, Wicked can just be more than just a word, a descriptor word. Like it can be an
An
actual
adjective.
noun.
Barding. Ah.
These
I don't know
things.
any of these things besides
How
Bree's
do you
hockey
how do you
journey.
We got our first hater the other day.
shout out to my dad?
That made me mad. Now I'm triggered.
Oh, and god damn it. What a pro wants. What a pro needs. Folks, welcome to episode 98 of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast. And of course, we've got a big one today. We left off last week discussing games 1 through 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. And we're going to be talking about games 4 through 6 with our good friend Chandler. Welcome back.
Hey.
Glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me back. You know, I think the last time I was on here, I had predicted my New Jersey Devils would be in Florida's shoes. But what a great Stanley Cup though we got to watch. So excited to talk about it.
Absolutely, and we're excited to see you rocking the BLHP jersey as well.
Oh yeah, baby.
Nice.
Epic. It's looking pretty good. That's
Fresh, it's fresh.
we're just waiting on Dean to get his. There's been some error in the shipping for some reason, so hopefully he gets his
really?
soon.
Oh,
Maybe someday.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Oh no.
and then we'll have to all record an episode together with them all on.
Definitely.
Be interesting.
Maybe in time for episode 100. We'll see.
Well, maybe. Yeah, we.
So how much of the playoffs did you end up watching, Chandler?
I watched a good chunk. You know, I was able to watch pretty much most of the games. I mainly was watching just during the playoffs. I was mainly watching the Eastern Conference, just a little easier.
Oh yeah.
Not to stay up this late.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if
with
you
work.
have no skin in the game, it's like, I really can't stay up for a second round, 10 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not happening.
Unless you're Brendan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. But the Stanley Cup, I was really excited to watch and was watching pretty much all of it. You know, it's a repeat Stanley Cup series. I feel like I remember last year's was pretty crazy, pretty intense, and I was really excited to watch this one. So, how about you guys? I'm assuming you guys probably watched it all.
oh yeah.
Well, I watched a lot, not as much as Brendan, but I didn't stay up like a first rounder, West Coast. If it was like going to overtime, double overtime, like nah. Brendan would stay up for those, but I was like, I'm good. Gotta save that rest for the finals, you know.
For real.
Yeah.
Was there a specific team that you were rooting for since you didn't have the Devils to cheer for?
Yeah, well, after the Devils got knocked out, I think I was rooting for the Oilers to go all the way this year. I thought Connor McDavid, I think just seeing him win that one, I mean, he's the best player in the world in my opinion. Probably most people's opinion.
Hot take.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's cool if he would want it. I kind of been watching him play since he joined the league, so I was really kind of rooting for him. But
Yeah, and a lot of intrigue, of course, with last year's final and the Amazon Face-Off series, amplifying that with the footage we got from the locker room and obviously so dejected after losing and then of course getting the Conn Smythe. So that's a big storyline. It's like, wow, we really do get to see that what Matthew Tkachuk said to McDavid in the handshake line in 2024. Like, yeah, we'll see you again next year. And it's like, yeah, that's rare. Obviously, last time was 2008, 2009. So you're looking at not quite 20 years, but like 15 years ago, which is crazy.
yeah, four times ever. This is like the fourth time ever this has ever happened. I'm pretty sure.
I forget. Do you know off the top of your head, Brendan, the record of the returning team?
I think that I know that the Penguins and the who was the other team that did it, that won? I believe both of those other two.
The Detroit.
two
in the
clubs.
50s. Yeah.
Oh, in the 50s? Yeah, okay. So I know they had won. I'm trying to remember the other major example, like the obvious example. That's not coming to mind. But I think it had to be pretty good. There were, again, only a couple of teams that lost back to back.
Yeah.
I know it was the Bruins in 77 and 78 was the most recent one, and then the Blues in I think 67 or 66 and 67, something like that. Like, when they just joined the league, and so it was their own expansion conference, and so they were just getting shellacked by all the real established teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty unfortunate as far as, I think, Dean and I were also rooting for Edmonton, so it's tough to see them lose in back-to-back seasons like that. And obviously, Canada is of course behind them. Maybe not every team. Lots of fans are like, no, I don't care about the curse as long as my team is the one that breaks it. So lots of fun storylines. I actually did I was kind of throwing in here some of the numbers as far as the finals. One pretty telling number I thought was Panthers leading in the finals 255 minutes and 49 seconds. That's an NHL record. So even though it was a 6-game series, again, both of those wins were in overtime, and I believe they were each cut from comeback fashion. Like had to rally to get there to tie it.
Well, they were down in the first period of like every game, right?
Yeah.
Like multiple goals.
I think one of them, I know. Oh, game 4 was they had the lead, and then the Panthers tied it up late with like 25 seconds. So that one they had a lead for maybe like 5 minutes at the end there, but they didn't lead for any of that game. Game 1, I don't think they led at any point either. So it's not a recipe for success. And even McDavid was like, we kept just banging our head against the wall, and we weren't doing, we were doing the same thing over and over again. And is that an indictment on the coaching staff, or maybe just a subtle dig towards some of the depth players that weren't able to produce, which was an abundant amount, at least in the finals. Lots of storylines there.
So where did we leave off last week? Florida was up 2-1, right?
That's right. It was the end of Game 3, and we were looking forward to Game 4. So Panthers were up 2-1.
Edmonton wins in overtime, and then they have the 5-2 loss to Florida, and then the 5-1 loss. Obviously, I mean, 4 of those goals from Reinhart last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, 2 of them were empty netters, but still, like, very impressive. Sam Bennett with the Conn Smythe, as predicted.
Yeah,
I was hoping for Marchand. I guess he got second place, and it seemed like it was kind of close.
They were the only 2 players that got first place votes. So like Bobrovsky got 10 third place votes, and all of the second place votes pretty much went to those 2 guys.
Makes sense. And Gifford gets his prediction right. He said Panthers in 6. You had the games right. He said Oilers in 6. And I had the team right, but I said Panthers in 7. And then
combined.
Owen had both wrong, saying Oilers in 7.
Rip. Just combine our collective knowledge and we get it right. Or you can just ask Gifford.
The podcast got it right.
And he'll just tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about Owen.
Yeah. He's still just a guess. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Did you have any predictions, Chandler, before the series began? What was going to happen? Like, obviously you were rooting for the Oilers, but did you, based on how the team had been performing this year and without Hyman as well, did you think that they were going to get it done?
That's a good question. I still thought the greatness of McDavid was going to kind of get it done, yeah. But yeah, I did. I had
Me too.
Oilers in 7. I had Oilers in 7, but goddamn, Florida's big and mean and just
They're pretty good.
beat
Yep.
the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like, those last couple of games, I mean, aside from the overtime game, I mean, Florida just whacked the crap out of them. Just, I did not see that coming. I really thought that Oilers were going to make it a really close, competitive, and I thought they were going to win it in 7. So.
Yeah, I mean, you go into Game 5 with home ice advantage, coming off that big come behind win in Game 4, and you're like, you know, you would think as a fan and being able to use the home ice advantage, you would be able to dictate the pace, but they immediately let in goals, and they never find a way for the crowd to take control of the game at all, and then it was just more of the same in Game 6, except they were in Florida, so it was that much worse. It was like just getting beaten down every single time you let in a goal, which was always Sam Reinhart, apparently, and it was always a crazy, like that first goal he scored. Can we talk about that? Because there were actually a couple of goals from a couple Panthers. Brad Marchand also having this sort of crossover little backhand, forehand deke while kind of falling or moving to the left or right, and you just snipe it top shelf on Skinner or Pickard or whoever it was. I don't know if Pickard was in the net for the Marchand goal, but yeah, the Reinhart goal was crazy and just set the tone for what was going to be a pretty miserable night for Edmonton.
I guess I've seen Marchand at his peak, so like I'm less surprised by that. But even like Reinhart, like you said, that goal, I'm like where does this come from? Like, I feel like their whole team just kind of elevates in the playoffs. I forget who had the quote, but it was like saying that in the regular season they trade for someone, and they're like, yeah, we play basically every game like it's Game 7 of the playoffs, and I mean, it shows. Like they just have that mentality, and it's like the opposite of Toronto.
Yeah. Really, I mean, it is. Obviously, these guys were clutch, and Toronto was the only team to push them to the brink. But
So now Toronto can say that they played against the Cup champs the best.
Yeah,
they have that going for them. It could have been them. It could have been Toronto. My bracket could have been perfect.
I think it was 37% of the Panthers' losses this playoffs were against the Leafs, something like that. So there you go. Congrats. Gotta root for something. Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Toronto, not to derail from these Stanley Cups, but do you think the Leafs got to blow it up?
This is like trouble. I mean, every year they're like, we need to make changes, and then they don't. But getting rid of Shanahan, he was the one being reluctant or like hesitant, I guess, of making these changes. So I feel like now they actually do some big, like Mario's not coming back. That's already a big change.
Yeah,
like, that's been confirmed. I don't know if we've talked about that, but so that's obviously a big one. But I'm sure they're going to make more changes than just that. So I think that's one of the more exciting off-season notes, I guess, that we'll be following.
Oh yeah, and I think a recent report was that Mitch kind of wants to take his time with it a little bit, but I really don't expect it to take more than like 3, 4, 5 days, even pushing it, into free agency, because teams that want him and are offering him big money are not going to wait around for him if all of the other depth pieces that are available are getting snatched up by other teams. It's like, okay, if you don't make a move here, we're gonna have to start spending our money elsewhere because we can't wait around. So that should be fascinating. He's definitely the biggest piece. And then for the Leafs, we also have Tavares is a pending UFA. You've got Matthew Nyes is the big RFA. But I think that deal gets done. We'll see what kind of team-friendly deal it is, but I don't expect him to get offer sheeted or anything like that. So, yeah, Tavares will be big, too, to see if he re-signs for low money or if he kind of asks for a little bit too much and the Leafs are just like, nope, like, look, we're trying to do something different this time, so we're not just going to sign you to a deal that we don't think is a good value, because we literally just spent the last 8 years doing that, and look where it got us. So I would hope the new group would not do that. We'll see how creative Tree Living gets, but yeah, definitely going to be an exciting off season for the Leafs, and I mean everybody's always talking about them anyways, so it's just amplified by another 10, 20 times. But yeah. We got lots of not lots. We have like a couple of weeks really before free agency. So we'll spend some time dissecting the rest of the finals here. I'll throw out another one of my cup by the numbers statistics, which is that the Oilers lose to the eventual cup champions for the 4th straight season, losing obviously to Florida last year in the finals. They lose to Vegas in the second round in 2023, and they lose in the conference finals to the Avalanche in 2022. So
that's a fun stat.
That's not
for the Oilers.
Yeah, that is fun, but not as great for McDavid and et al.
I mean, if you're gonna lose to a team, you might as well lose to the team that won the cup.
Makes it feel a little bit better as a fan, I guess. If you're like, hey, at least we didn't lose to the Leafs or whatever.
Right. Do you think that that stat makes Corey Perry feel better?
I don't think there's anything that's going to make Corey Perry feel better unless it's lifting Lord Stanley over his head. As he loses his 5th straight final appearance, not 5 in a row because he didn't make it in 2023, but 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024, 2025. Loses all 5 of those finals, and with 4 different teams: Dallas, Montreal, Tampa, and then last 2 seasons with Edmonton. And he sounds like he's going to be coming back to the league, or definitely no reason for him to want to retire. We'll see if he comes back to Edmonton. Actually, is he a UFA, or did he sign a multi-year deal?
What if he goes to Florida? Can they win again with him on the team?
Florida's probably like, no, thank you.
Stay away.
We are all good.
I'm betting whatever team he's on, I'm putting money on to lose the Stanley Cup.
To make it to the finals and lose.
Yeah.
What if Edmonton trades a first-round pick for Florida to take him?
Big brain.
They're like, guys, just hear us out, okay? I know this looks bad, but we are probably going to win the finals next year. So all we got to do is get there. He is a UFA, which I was pretty sure. So, yeah, Corey, we'll see what he does. If he decides one more go with Edmonton, that'll be enough. Or if he's like, yeah, I think I want to give it another go somewhere. I mean, it's tough when you're that age to continue to move around your family. It's like, all right, now I'm gonna move my family to Florida. Like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Tampa Bay, or gonna go to Florida. It's just something to think about for these veterans.
Yeah, and speaking about, I guess, veteran free agents, I'm interested to see what Marchand does. Do you think he stays with Florida?
Man, it's so tough.
He was asked about it after the game. He's like, I'm not
sure.
thinking about that yet, obviously.
He's like, I'm thinking about drinking, and that's about it. I saw a great picture of him, not to derail too much, but he had a beer in his elbow. He had like a seltzer and some other drink in his hand as well. And then he had a cigar in his mouth. And
then Dairy Queen in his other hand.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. I'll have to see if I could find the photo. But it was, definitely all celebration for probably the next, 5 days or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would love to come back to the team. I feel like I don't see why he wouldn't, like with the success that he had, and it seems like he's having a great time. It's just whether or not
pay him.
He'll be valuable enough,
and how much money he wants to make. Like if he's happy with like 3x6, 3x7, Florida might give him that. But like if he wants 8 or 9 or whatever, then I don't know.
Well, yeah, and then I'm sure it'll be in tandem with what Sam Bennett wants to do, because he's going to be demanding more money, definitely, than Marchand, and I would say rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what does Bennett want? Does he want to just keep running it back in Florida? Maybe sign a 7 or 8 year deal at decent cap hit, but something that Florida can manage and can build around, or does he want to cash in and make a whole bunch of money somewhere else? Like, yeah, that'll be a big storyline to kind of unlock the puzzle pieces that are the Florida cap situation. So yeah, that again, we got so many different storyline. We could go through all of the teams and look at, you know, what their off season looks like, and how they can help another team, and how they can not be helped by another team, that kind of stuff. But I think
that's what our off season's for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're gonna spend some time still thinking about the season that was, rather than the season that will be, which is 111 days away as of recording. It is October 7th. A Tuesday is the start of the next season. So there you go. Something to look forward to.
And we've already got a good list going for our off-season topics, so I'm excited to, like, we've put some of those on there months ago, so to finally kind of get to those will be fun.
Yes, I do look forward to it, just because it's a little bit lighter. We obviously get to do a lot more games and trivia and things like that to fill the time, and yeah, it's fun to not be just chock full of info dumps and breakdowns of plays that happened almost a week ago by the time the episode comes out.
It's only like 5 days now. We're getting better.
We are getting better. Thank you for the suggestion, Dean. I think it's been working out well, and we hope you guys have been tuning in every, like, Friday is pretty much when we've been putting them out. Friday-ish.
I'll give you another cup by the numbers. Seth Jones is the first Seth on the cup. I found that surprising. I figured there had to have been at least one in the last 100 years, but I guess it's a more modern name, so...
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, Seth doesn't seem like a really old name, but I guess I don't know. Was it Evan was the first name? Evan Rodriguez was last year, because it was Evan Bouchard or Evan Rodriguez was gonna get on the cup, and that was a thing.
There's only one other active NHL player named Seth.
Oh, come on. Oh, Seth Jarvis. I'm like,
same
don't,
initials and everything.
I'm like, don't give me this, like, random third pairing, seventh D man
I was
type
like,
of thing.
you'll know him.
Like, okay, no way. If I can think about it for half a second.
He's played about a third of the games as Jones and only has 3 less goals.
Well, he is a forward.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'll give Jones enough credit there that he's doing the best that he can, and he's out of Chicago now. Obviously, he will be loving it in Florida. He hasn't been there very long, but he obviously lifts the cup. He was one of the first players to receive the cup after Nate Schmidt. I think he was the longest tenured NHL player, and that's probably why he was handed the cup first, and then Seth Jones went after him, I believe.
Yeah, I did like how they did that. They gave everyone who hadn't won the cup, handed it off to those guys first. Like, even the second and third string goalies got it before, like, before Kachuk or Bennett or any of those guys.
It would definitely, if, you know, somebody told me that Cormier was going to be touching the cup before Marchand or Bennett or Kachuk, I'll be like, really? Okay. I mean,
yeah. So I thought that was a nice
but yeah, I think it's fun, and people are obviously tuning in to the cup lifting ceremony right away, and then they kind of peter off when they get to these guys usually. So it's kind of nice that you had to kind of wait out if you wanted to see the superstars lifted on TV.
Yeah, I remember Owen and I watching, like, who even is that guy? Like, on some of them.
Oh yeah, Megna. We were like, dude, I do not know. Like number 6, I'm like, I literally have no idea.
Well, they didn't even show, like, and they didn't show his back.
Yeah, that was pretty funny that we were, come on, like, just angling.
He was waiting, like, come on,
slightly.
like, I don't recognize the face.
Yeah,
But yeah, your boy Samoskevich got it pretty early. Have you decided you're getting that jersey?
Still gonna wait and see
If
if
he's on the
his
cup.
name gets on the cup or not. I
I
think
think if you lift the cup, you're probably gonna be on the cup, but who knows?
I don't.
Only 52 spots, so pick wisely, I guess.
Yeah, and there's definitely members of the organization that weren't players that get on there too, so which take up some of those spaces. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Like I don't know if Uvis Balinskis and Cormier and maybe even Vanacek get on there, but
When does that get announced? I wonder. I've never paid attention to
Yeah.
that.
well, I think it'll be sooner than typically because the last couple of years, starting with Vegas, they wanted to get it etched, the names etched on there before the players did their tour, so that way they could
Hmm,
show their friends and family and anyone who was coming to see their day with the cup their names on there. And
that
then the
makes
Florida
sense.
Panthers did the same thing last season. So I'd expect that they'd get around to it like relatively quickly, maybe within the next week or so. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
speculating, and I don't remember exactly what it was last year, but I think we'll know fairly quickly, which is
I've
which
just
is
never
fun.
seen that announced. Like I've never read an article that's like, and their names have been added to the cup for this year.
Oh,
Like it's
really?
just not
I
something
mean,
that
I know
people.
Sinbin had a whole article about it last year
I guess
or when
yeah. I'm
Vegas
sure
won.
if the Bruins won the cup, I would have seen the article about the Bruins names being added to the cup. But
Yeah, that's true. And
as a
he
hockey
he was
fan,
like breaking down like, oh, this is who this staff member or whatever is, like, oh, this
yeah,
is
he
the
went through all the
video
names.
coach.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was cool to hear some of the read about the depth of the organization, and like Tom Paraska, who was the fanager. I always forget what the first word in that is. There's like one other thing and then fanager, which was like the original cap friendly kind of website. General
Okay.
fanager, maybe something like that.
I wonder if like the video review guys are on there.
Yeah, I think
Huh?
they were for, like, especially because I think they had a couple
Like big
challenges that went their
challenges.
way during the playoffs, and it's like, yeah, you made a huge difference.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tom Perezka. Think yeah, I'm pretty sure it's general manager, project manager. So yeah, now he's director of hockey operations with the Golden Knights. Pretty cool. So yeah, we'll see when those get released. But yeah, as Dean was alluding to, I do get the jersey of the eventual Cup winners. I've been trying to do that since the second Tampa win, which I didn't really fully decide what I wanted to do, so I got the alternate jersey, which they didn't wear during that run, just because I didn't have it and I thought it was cooler than the standard home blue. But then the rest of them I've gotten either the home or I don't think I've gotten any aways, but I'm gonna get
Oh,
an
you can get
away
the
this
away this
time.
one.
Yeah, because I already have two homes. Like I got this Ekblad last year, and then I have Mackenzie Weegar, which he's not there anymore. So it would be nice to get an away, and then also it says Florida on the crest here
Mm.
instead of Panthers, just to
Wait,
let
why'd you
the
get Ekblad? There was no 24.
There was no 24, and this was one of the only ones that was like available
Oh, okay.
at the time. Like they were, because it was the last year of Adidas and all that. Like there was just limited stock for Panthers stuff, especially because they were in the finals.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, okay, this one's available. I might not have another opportunity to buy one at least for this price, so I'm just gonna go for it. And
I thought you were gonna get a Forsling.
I could still strip it and do that if I wanted to. I was like, you know what, this is fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go crazy with it.
I think a Samoskevich jersey would be fun.
It probably would be. He's got a longer name, and there's probably not too many folks that have his jersey.
or with a Stanley Cup patch on it.
Right, right. Just like my Nico Sturm with the Avs patch, which I could get him
yeah.
as well, because Nico Sturm, 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, you could collect all his jerseys.
Oh, that'd be yeah.
I have thought about that. I'm like, I have a Minnesota Wild, the Winter Classic jersey that I would love
Like
to
a
get.
blank?
Yeah, that's blank. I would love to get him, his name and number customized on there.
That'd be cool.
Clarkson connection and all that.
Yes, sir.
Dean, why don't you rip through this final cup by the number stat while I drink some
Stuart
water.
Skinner, 0-3 in the last 4 games of the final with a .825 save percentage. Chandler, is that good?
That's bad.
Oh, it's bad. Okay.
That's
right.
so bad, man.
Not acceptable.
I wonder what were Pickard's stats?
Pickard wasn't great either. I think in the last 4, it was like 885 or something like that.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
He was on the 14th, 778 save percentage, 4 goals on 18 shots, and then on the 12th he was a 957. That's when he came in relief.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so through the playoffs, Pickard was 7-1 with an 886, and I'll just say Skinner 7-7 with an 889. So slightly better, but pretty close, and obviously the losses are drastic. And then in the final, 1-1 for Pickard at 878, and 1-3 with an 861 for Skinner. And then last 4 games, 1-1 for Pickard with an 878. So same stats there, obviously, but none of those jump out at you as being Stanley Cup champion caliber or even close. So no surprise that that's a big storyline. They kept juggling the starters. They didn't know who to go to, and that was pretty evident. And it did not work out. This was a major storyline heading into last season's off season. Like, what are they going to do to address the goaltending issue? Because Skinner was terrible until he wasn't. And it was like, okay, you guys need something else here. And they didn't do anything. And now I believe both of them are pending UFAs next year.
They each have 1 more year left, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think you can't keep doing, you have to find a way to move on from probably both of these guys. Do something similar to what the Avalanche did, which I don't think there's that much risk because you have to do something different. This isn't working. It's not the entire reason that they didn't win the series. Obviously, we talked about the depth pieces that just weren't able to pick it up, and Draisaitl and McDavid didn't score enough in the finals to overcome it. But I think goaltending will be heavily discussed. I think depth will be discussed, and how are they going to be able to do that when they also have to think about McDavid's extension, which he can sign July 1st. Will he take his time? Will the team take their time? Will they be like, how the hell are we going to be able to afford to pay Draisaitl, pay McDavid, and then
will someone offer sheet
goalies?
him?
Offer sheet? No, he's not an RFA. So no offer sheet there.
Who do you think Edmonton can go to a goalie? Is there someone?
Well, if they take the goalies that the Avalanche trade away, trade with the Sharks.
Grab Georgiev.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe like a Markstrom. I know he just got traded, but
I don't think Chandler likes the sound of that. He's like,
you don't want Skinner?
We just got him, man.
He
played so well too in the playoffs.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him with a healthy Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see how we do,
Probably still lose, but it would have been more entertaining.
Oh, come on. No.
I just think they didn't have the depth this year to outpace Carolina.
Yeah.
But hey, I had them as my cup pick going into the offseason, so I believed until the evidence in front of me was too much to overcome.
Well, Chandler had them as his cup pick for the Bread Loves Hockey podcast bracket pool. And do you know you got 5th place, Chandler? I don't know if that says how bad the rest of us were or what, but
Is that out of like 10 or is that out of 5?
out of 16.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. Who got
And
one?
so congratulations to Zach on winning the challenge.
Well done.
Let's
Good
check
job,
out his
Zach.
bracket. He had Florida in the finals, but playing the Stars.
That's pretty
and he had the
close.
Stars winning.
Oh, never mind. Well, close enough compared to anybody else. I mean, obviously he won. My bracket was terrible. Mine was
Yes, I
pretty
mean, he had
similar
the
to
Eastern Conference
Subban's.
Finals right with Florida over Carolina. In the West, he had Dallas over Vegas, so that wasn't quite right, obviously. But good enough to win the challenge. So again, congratulations.
It was a weird year where it seemed like a lot of the expected upsets didn't happen, and then some of the ones that were unexpected happened, and so yeah, it was a weird one, and no sweeps again, which I don't know the last time that has happened, but that was kind of interesting.
Even the second chance bracket I made, I was only 57% correct.
I mean, you did what you could.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I already disappointed myself once. I think
still
I'm
believed
done.
in Vegas over Edmonton.
Me too. Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Do you know who won the ESPN bracket?
Oh, no, I can look.
I do not.
I guess
know.
that one is more actually has money on the line.
Yeah, and I guess the transcontinental hockey pool is also wrapped up too.
Yeah, why don't you pull that up while I pull up the
Oh,
pull up
let's
this
see.
one. I got 5th in this one. Okay.
Decent.
Oh, wait, a tie for first place, but does this one not have a tiebreaker? Someone I don't know, and then Caleb, who I used to work with in Potsdam, tied for first.
Is he?
Oh, the tiebreaker was how many goals scored by the champions in the playoffs. So Caleb guessed 38, and this guy guessed 27. I don't know. I feel like I tried to look this up before, and it's hard to find quickly how many goals.
Yeah,
The Panthers definitely scored more than 27, right?
they
throughout
had
the cup?
They had a couple of 5 and 6 game,
Yeah,
6
so
goal
probably
games in
I'm
there.
guessing Caleb won,
27, yeah, seems probably a little too low.
but is it closer to 38 then? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Price is Right rules or what. Can't go over. Is this do you know if Passport Poppy is Caleb in the Transcontinental Hockey pool, because he won with a score of 317, five points between him and number 2 Paulie's Panthers 3.0. Sorry, Paul.
I
Hey,
think
at least your
there's-
Panthers won.
I think on the sheet there's a list of names to. Oh yeah, I guess it is Caleb. Is there
Yeah.
only one Caleb on here? So wow,
think
look at
so.
him winning.
Yeah,
He
that's
won
pretty
all the
good.
money.
It's a pretty good run. Damn, Owen
Oh, yeah, Caleb.
second to last.
I wonder if he had
Ended up at
Oh
10th.
well, no, he had the Stars. He also had the Stars winning the cup. So I was gonna say if he thought the Panthers would win the cup and put a bunch of Panthers on his team, but I mean he had Reinhardt, Kachuk, McDavid, and Draisaitl, Forsling, and Bouchard, and Bobrovsky. So yeah, that definitely helps you get lots of points.
Yeah.
He picked the Panthers in this to win the cup, but not in the other one. So
And it worked out pretty well.
yeah, all right.
Wow.
Let's see, 5, 10, 16, 20, 25, 20. It was already 28 in the finals.
Oh. Shoot.
Yeah. So I think Caleb won the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Double winner.
Wow. Well, congratulations to Caleb, and sorry, Owen at 27th out of 28, narrowly beating out Blair's Bolts, who picked only Tampa Bay Lightning players.
That's funny.
believed in her Lightning, and they let her down by losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champions. So, yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think she even swapped anybody out for
Just gave up.
Just stuck to her guns.
you know what? I still believe in these boys.
Yeah.
That's some respect right there.
While we're talking about Owen, we forgot to mention last week our thoughts on the new Senators jerseys. I like them.
I like them too, and I think there's been split opinions. A lot of people were not a fan immediately, but I think they're fun. I like the red reverse retro jersey that they did. So adding a little more gold, obviously as a Vegas fan, but I just like I like how the gold looks with the Sens gear. So I think it's fun. I think it's just nice to have some red back in there. That's a dominant color rather than the secondary. They've been going with the black homes for a little while now. So yeah, those are fun. Did you get to see those, Chandler? If you look at the
No, I'm not. Yeah.
And also in the comments, there's a picture.
Oh yeah, that's helpful. So these were leaked a little bit, a couple of months ago, when they were taking some the promotional footage for this eventual reveal at the fan event. We got a kind of a glimpse, but now we get the official reveal from the team.
I kind of like the older. I like the other ones better. They're older ones, personally.
The old homes.
Divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Glad we have somebody to prove my point. That's all right. I mean, once we see them in person and on TV, I think we'll get better feel for how nice they are. Maybe I like them now, and then I see one in person or just on TV, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It doesn't really mesh as well as I kind of thought. But that's happened before, absolutely, but not all the time. I'll see if I end up adding this one to my collection.
Yeah.
Oh, I also, since we were wrapping up all of the end of season things, we'll quickly mention that I did win past the cup. Not the points total, but I did get the cup winners. I picked Florida because they won last year. That was my first overall pick, and that one just got me my $20 back. So sorry, Owen.
I still need to Venmo you.
Riding with yes, please get me my payment. I need it. No.
Yeah.
Owen, I hear
Gotta
Owen's
let it
taking
ride.
L's this entire podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough, buddy. It's only gonna get worse. We just break some brutal trade that just comes in. Brady Tkachuk is headed to Florida, No, hopefully nothing crazy. Wishing the best for the Sens next year, but yeah, you didn't get the $20 from Edmonton. Which, hey, I was rooting for Edmonton too, and it worked out where at least I got $20 out of it. That was pretty much it. And Nico Sturm winning. Those were pretty much the only saving graces. You guys have anything else you really wanted to discuss about the finals? We did have the handshake line with Paul Maurice participating in it, which was a question mark heading into it after the conference finals, and electing to not go through with that with Rod Brindamore and his staff. So that was. I was curious to see what was going to happen there. I think shaking the players' hands in the final is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Show some respect. We also did not see Evander Kane in the handshake line, as he had been ejected from the I don't know if he was ejected, but he had a misconduct, so he was in the locker room when the clock struck 0. So he did not come out, which okay. I mean, I feel like you probably should, but
Meh, whatever.
not the end of the world. I don't know if there were too many Panthers that were really awaiting to shake hands with Evander Kane. It's a good series. But, yeah. Whatever. I guess it's probably one of those things where fans care way more than the players and the coaching staff and all that.
Do you have any other thoughts on the finals, Chandler?
I guess the one thought I had was just kind of more of the play style differences, and I wanted to hear what you guys think the league is headed to in a playing style. You know, Florida's just extremely physical, just pressuring the crap out of the Oilers, making them make so many mistakes, even though they have a lot of skill and speed. Do you guys think this is the Florida's the blueprint for how to make a Stanley Cup winner? Do you think there's better kind of, I guess, styles to play right now in the league that can overtake their physicality? What do you guys think?
I mean, I feel like teams have tried to copy it because I mean they won last year, right? So teams were like, "Oh, what did they do that helped them win?" And like the Bruins even were like, "We're gonna get bigger and tougher." And I mean, I feel like that's the
Slower.
big bad Bruins. They've been doing that forever and slower.
Yeah.
So it turns out that if you're tough, it doesn't help if you can't keep up and all that. The thing that makes Florida unique is they have these tough guys that are also goal scorers. Like Sam Bennett, as much as I hate him, like he's a rat. Like he'll get in the goalie's face, he'll get in players' faces, like throw hits, whether legal or not. But he'll also score goals, and like Kachuk's the same way. And like they have a lot of these players, Marchand now, that like are good at getting under players' skins. Like they're high energy players, good at forechecking, things like that. But they can also score goals. So like those types of players are not easy to come by. Like you can get goal scorers. Like I keep mentioning Toronto as like the opposite of Florida. Like they have all these goal scorers that are great in the regular season, but not this either mental toughness or physical toughness that works in the playoffs. So they've tried to like get people like Reeves to kind of balance it out, but like
He doesn't score.
Just having tough guys and just having superstars doesn't seem to be as effective as having your tough guys be the superstars, or not even superstars. It's like they're a level below that. Like they don't have any McDavids, but they have all these guys that are just good at hockey and good at being annoying.
Yeah.
So if that's the blueprint, I don't know how you really copy that.
It's tough to replicate that.
And Florida has like half of them on their team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and one thing that they do very well, which gets partially discredited with the no state tax income, is income tax. Excuse me, I switched those.
We got you.
But they find value, and if they don't get it from a contract, or if they're realizing that a team that they have or a player that they have under contract is not providing them the value that their contract is worth, then they will move on. It's very similar to Vegas and Colorado and other ruthless teams, Tampa Bay as well, where they're able to find value and then lock it in at a solid rate, like Reinhart, a great example, and they have other players that are getting similarly structured contracts, so that way they can get the most out of their money. So that's definitely something that we're going to see more teams try to do, even with the salary cap going up. Not every team's going to be spending all the way to the brim. So, yeah, we'll see how the cap flexibility affects teams' ability to get really, really good value, or if they're a little bit more flexible, and so they spend a little bit more than they need to just to get that asset. You got to really toe the line, and probably not something that I could ever do as a general manager. Kudos to those guys. We do have some recent signings after the cup was awarded a 2-year $975K per extension for Matt Rempe with the New York Rangers, which a lot can be said about how he played this season and how many games he got suspended. and cause his team to be in the on the penalty kill. But he's still young. He's obviously very tall and very physical. So if you can dial in some of that energy to something a little more focused on trying to score goals and be a good hockey player, I think this will work out. And then the more of an eyebrow raiser for me is the 8 by 4 million per extension for Trent Frederic in Edmonton.
Laughing at the comments. Like, so when you have the opportunity to lock up Trent Frederic to an 8-year deal, you just have to do it.
You have to.
I was like reading that, I was like, wait, does that mean, like, I was like, is that 8 years? Like, this is the first time I'm seeing it too. But like, on the flip side, I guess, of the like optimistic, it's like 4 million. We've talked about this with the cap already projected to go up so much. It's like 4 million is not much. It just seems like for a third to fourth liner, giving them that term is not common.
It's not, and I haven't seen enough like crazy offensive flashes from Frederick to where I think it justifies giving him a chance. Like, unless they really think that he will be able to take the next step, like with a full season under his belt with Edmonton, that he will be able to activate some other level in his game, and he will eventually be like outperforming that deal. I think even with the if they get like 2 or 3 solid production years out of him, the rest of that contract is just not gonna be worth it, in my opinion.
I mean, he had back-to-back years in Boston where he had 17 goals and then 18 goals. It was 31 points, 40 points, which is like, I mean, that's decent numbers for like a third liner. But so yeah, I mean, I don't think, like, I think it could have been worse. Like, you give him the terms so that you don't have to pay much, but it's just kind of weird to me. Like, I don't think it's that terrible, but it's more strange than bad. I think it'll be fine. It's not a lot of money. He's 27, so this is like his last contract basically.
Yeah, last long-term deal. I guess I'll put it in this perspective for you, Chandler. If Trent Frederic signed with the Devils, an 8x4 deal, like how would you feel about that, given what you've seen from his play over the last couple of years?
That's a good question. I think for I think he's pretty good. I don't think he's worth this contract, frankly, but I can, maybe you run with him for 2-3 years if you're Edmonton and you're like, this still isn't working, or he might still have some value where you could trade him, offload him for something, especially if the cap increases. Who knows what 4 million could look like in 4 years.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a single comment saying that this wasn't a bad deal.
It's just tough to see a scenario where you're locking in like super high value with Frederic, based on what we've seen, and knowing 27, 28 is like kind of the prime for a majority of these players. Not in all cases, but they usually have presented themselves by now as going to be elite players, and I don't see that. I mean, again, we're only talking about 4 million, but I just think you could have done a 3x5 or 3x5.5 or something, and just made sure that you had an out if it just wasn't like a solid relationship. And I think trying to trade him with 5, 4, even 3 years left on that deal is going to be tough.
Well, Marchand signed an 8-year deal around the same age and was like a third-ish liner, and then he became a superstar. So you never know.
Right, that's the bet you're making. Is like, what if we get this? 2-3 years.
He was a first rounder.
He's in his prime.
That's true.
Yep. End of the first round. If as he gets more in his prime, you just got this guy on a deal now. But I believe they will regret this. So I
Yeah.
I just think he. This is just a lot of money to give this guy. I think he's okay, but why not just do 2 years and then like re-sign him if he does become
Well,
great?
the cap's going up. They'd have to pay him $5 million in 2 years. So think about the savings, Chandler.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, the savings, yes.
I feel like it's not often that like I mean, there's these trades that happen where every single person online is like, "That's a terrible trade," and it's not often that those trades end up, or not trades, signings or trades, where those end up being good and like prove everyone wrong. Like it's probably happened a couple of times, but I feel like it's very rare when every single person's like, "I don't like that,"
It's like, yeah,
or "I love that for Edmonton as a Kings fan," or whatever.
Calgary
Oh, yeah.
fans are like,
No.
yes, this looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this. Yeah. Well, again, like we always say, time will tell. We'll see all of those adages, but that's why we watch and that's why we dissect in the now. And then as we look, in a couple years, we might look at the contract differently depending on how he's performing. Like, yeah, you always evaluate players at their highs and their lows as far as their production, or their ability to stay healthy is something to look at too. We'll also, since we have been going over the signings, we'll touch on a couple trades. One which broke right after we recorded, pretty much. It was kind of in the works throughout the day, and it didn't get officially announced until I think later that night or the next day. But yeah, Chris Kreider, long-time New York Ranger, the longest tenured player there, is headed to Anaheim along with a 2025 fourth rounder, originally Anaheim's, so they reacquire that, and we'll get into possible implications later. But going the other way to the Rangers is prospect Carey Terrence and a 2025 third rounder, originally Toronto's. And I did note in our group chat that Terrence is from Akwesasne, New York, which is about 40 minutes northeast of Potsdam. Very, very close to the Canadian border, like pretty much right on it. So I thought that was kind of fun. 2023 second round pick, 59th overall by Anaheim. So I don't know. He's the only major piece going in the deal. For the Rangers, obviously Kreider is the biggest name, and I think this works out pretty well for both teams. I mean, obviously the Rangers don't have Kreider anymore, but he clearly wasn't producing in a way that was enough, and I think they needed to get rid of his full contract, which not a ton of teams would be able to take on the full deal without some sort of salary retention from the Rangers. So they get out of the full contract, and they do get a slight upgrade in the pick. I think they moved up like 15 spaces into the third round. So it's not bad, but it's also tough to see their longest tenured player and someone who you could have potentially seen as a future captain of the team go for kind of pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, he waived his no move clause to go to Anaheim too. Kreider did.
He did.
So I guess fresh start. I mean, we know all the, talk of like locker room issues in New York this year.
Oh, yeah.
So goes to join his friend Trouba in Anaheim.
Yep. And Strome, and I think he knows Zegras well as well. They've already I've seen some photos with them, so that's fun. I think it's a player that Anaheim needs. They need somebody who will score on the power play, because that was a struggle last year. And Kreider's a known power play goal scorer. He is obviously a veteran, and they're still a young group. I think he'll bring a lot to the locker room. So overall, pretty good for Anaheim. I think they get good value. I don't think Terrence is gonna cost them a ton. seeing him blossom in the Rangers organization or anything like that. I'm not expecting. Chandler, as a Devils fan in the same division, you got to feel pretty good about not having Kreider there anymore, even if potentially it makes the Rangers a little bit better.
Yeah, I remember when we played against them in the playoffs a few years ago. Kreider was a menace.
Yeah.
He was tough and scary whenever he had the puck, especially in our series. So yeah, I mean this season especially. I mean, I really thought the Rangers were gonna be a really strong team for years to come, and
So did
just
they.
after the season, yeah, for real. So I was kind of worried as a Devils fan, but after this past season, I mean, they to me are showing kind of more of like a reset, not fully, but definitely straight moving towards youth. I think they're trying to probably get an elite defenseman. This to me is just like a kind of just a salary cap release. I mean, you're paying a guy what he's making like $6 million for sub 30 goals or sub 30 points even maybe. I don't know. He's just not producing when he needs to. So I'm nervous to see what Rangers get, but
Yeah, I mean,
they're
obviously they're
clowns.
going to
So
replace
I'm
him.
not too worried.
Yeah, I mean, you're still
These guys.
it's still the Rangers suck and go Devils.
Yeah. So
And then the
Yeah, I'm not
Islanders,
too
of
worried.
course, are going to be improving as well with their, as of right now, first overall selection in the draft. We'll see if there's any movement there. I don't expect it, but there are rumors circling right now about the Islanders and the Bruins and potentially moving around that 7th overall pick that currently belongs to Boston. I know Pajot's name has been thrown around, and Dobson as well. Dean, your
Yeah, because
thoughts?
there's some people are saying that Hagens will fall below 7th, so the Bruins could get him. Like Craig Button is obviously one of the I don't know what you want to say, prospect wizards, I guess. He
That sounds
seems to
right.
know a lot about where these guys will land, and he has Hagens at 8 now. Which, I mean, I would love to get Hagens. Like, he was projected first overall years ago,
Yeah.
and then he's kind of he didn't so much as fall off. It's just the other players moved up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's talks of the Bruins trading for the first overall pick, but like I don't want to do that this year. Also, some people are like, well, the Bruins might just trade the 7th for stuff next year because next year's draft is deeper. So who knows? But yeah, there's definitely just been some talks about,
Of course,
the Islanders being interested in that 7th overall pick. So we shall see.
Yep, and we've got the decentralized draft this year, which it already sounds like we're not expecting that to come back next year. Bettman's been on record as saying he's not a fan, but it is in Los Angeles. Again, we'll see if that does allow for more trades to happen, just because the general managers are not right next to each other, and they're like, it's just a little more comfortable to be in your own space and in a private room where you're not trying to call 3 different people at the same time. Like the Kyle Dubas meme from a few years back was pretty good with the 2 phones in hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a storyline heading into the draft, which is again right around the corner. We got the PWHL draft too.
The GMs will make a bunch of trades during the draft to prove that they were right and Gary was wrong, and it should be decentralized.
Hey,
So
maybe
we'll show him.
Well, even if the teams are happy, if the maybe if the ratings are not great, or the owners are still not happy because of how it's run and how they can charge ticketing, or I don't know. There's a lot of factors, I guess.
But if you have a draft where like picks are flying back and forth and all this stuff, like I feel like you'd get views and attention. So
True. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just hoping for something exciting. More exciting than the recent trade for the Boston Bruins, Dean. You were pretty whelmed by this one.
Yep. So the Bruins trade defenseman Ryan Mast and a seventh round pick in the 2025 draft for to Chicago for defenseman Victor Soderstrom. And I was like, I mean, Mast might have played some games for the Bruins. Like I know his name, but I
Oh,
was like,
really?
okay.
Yeah.
I think I just know him as a prospect though. But anyway, I'm like, I guess we're giving up a pick for a slightly better defenseman, or maybe just like someone who's been in the league. Like it's just like a depth piece, I guess. I
Yeah.
haven't really thought too much about this trade or really care. So
It's gonna be one where until something makes it important, it's not important. Like
yeah,
it's maybe a bet that Soderstrom can get back to like some of that offensive ceiling that he was kind of seen for as he was like a younger prospect. He was with the Chicago organization, and it didn't really come to fruition. So
yeah. I guess Ryan Mast has not played in the NHL.
I definitely did not recognize his name, so I was like, oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know his name just again because I listened to all the Bruins podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff. But did you guys see that the Devils actually made a trade about 3 hours ago?
What?
oh,
No.
no, I didn't see
Wait,
that.
what?
Yeah. The Nashville Predators acquire Eric Haula from the New Jersey Devils for defenseman Jeremy Hansel and a fourth round pick in the 2025 NHL draft. Chandler, your
Whoa.
thoughts?
Holla holla?
Oh, no.
Boy? I love holla, man.
He's going back to Nashville.
Is this
Was
real?
it-
Are you trolling me?
Wasn't Haula on the Devils before the Bruins and then back to the Devils?
No, I don't think he had
I don't
two
think so,
stints.
though.
I think
I think it's
just the one.
Where did the I gotta look.
I mean, he's been in a lot of teams.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was on Nashville before the Bruins.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, so he's going
And
back.
Florida and Carolina and Vegas and Minnesota.
NHL.com hasn't updated. Oh wait, actually, it kind of did. The photos are still for the Devils, but then he's got the Nashville Predators banner on the top. So they're working.
Well,
on
I just went on NHL.com/news and it has the 24-25 NHL trades. And then, because I was pulling it up for the other ones, I'm like, oh, what's this June 18th one?
Oh yeah. I literally did not hear about this at all. So that's
didn't either.
interesting. Yes, I mean, so this was his third season with New Jersey, which is the most that he had spent with a club since he was with the Wild back in his rookie days, where he spent 4 seasons there. So yeah, that's a big one. Sad to see him go. I imagine.
Yeah.
Value says Hollow was number 19 on our most recent trade targets board.
Gone. Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah, definitely sad to see him go, man. He good leader for the team. Yeah, I liked the depth he added too up top on offense, and he was pretty physical with that line. But I get
34
I get
years
the
of
$3
age.
million. 34. Yeah, I think he's making like 3 or 4 million or something like that.
I guess they felt that they could get better value elsewhere.
Yeah,
Which I mean, yeah, he doesn't usually blow you away with his offensive production, but he's a good physical player. He can get into the dirty areas. He's done it for a long time. Obviously, was with Vegas for a couple of seasons, so always got a soft spot for him. I do not know Hansel. Apparently, 22 years of age, was chosen by the Avalanche in the 6th round of the 23 NHL draft. He played this season for Milwaukee and Atlanta of the ECHL. Atlanta Gladiators, we just learned last night when we were talking during the game.
Oh, yeah.
So, bounce between ECHL and AHL. I don't think there's high expectations for his NHL production, but that's just one of those things.
I haven't put much work into the draft, but is 4th round good this year? Like,
Fourth round's never.
You're not
is it,
shooting
like,
for
deep?
fourth
Is this
rounders.
is
This
this
is
deep?
not projected as a very deep class.
Yeah.
The expectations are that next year's draft will be deeper. It's always going to be talking about the first round depth, but you always find diamonds in the rough in later rounds. So
Yeah.
even if they don't use that pick, like if they flip their 4th round pick to uh, trade for somebody else or package it up, like it just it's beneficial to get those picks, even if you're probably not going to get a ton of value from them by using it. That's the whole Magic Beans thing, and I've seen a lot of great players that have drafted in the later rounds. See, goalies are our big one, mid round, late round goalies, but tons of players. So you never know. But I guess they really didn't think that the situation was going to work, and rather than hanging on to him until the trade deadline next year, it's like, yeah, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. And Nashville obviously was familiar with him, so there you go. Barry Trotz wheeling and dealing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the summer of Trotz all over again. This is just the start. They're trying to sign Marner now. Definitely not.
And then we
I guess
also
they're getting
had the IIHF first 6 players announced for each country. I don't know if we need to go through all of them. We can at least do the big markets. I guess I don't know if it's considered markets, countries, whatever.
Big nations for hockey.
Big nations. Starting with, of course, the US of A, the Kachuk brothers, Matthews, Eichel, Quinn Hughes, and Charlie McAvoy.
No goalies
no
named.
surprises there.
That was the big thing, but again, it's just the first 6, and they can market these guys really well, so that's gotta be part of it.
And then for Canada, you got Crosby, McKinnon, McCarr, McDavid, Point, and Reinhart. I guess Reinhart's the one where I'm like, oh, it's kind of like not that surprising, but like a name that's like, as far as marketability, I guess you're like, oh, I guess. I mean, he just won the cup, so.
Twice.
Yeah.
It's like, I think he's definitely in the conversation, so I get it. A lot of great Canadian players, of course.
How about that Team Italy?
Yeah, there was one notable player, the goalie, I think Clara, who played with San Diego a little bit this year. He's one to maybe keep an eye on, but again, all expectations are these guys are gonna get shellacked. We did get the groups announced too, so it's 3 groups of 4, a round robin, and no teams get eliminated in the round robin. So I actually don't have the groups pulled up. I assume that's.
I put a link in the thing.
Oh, thank you, Dean.
I like how Latvia was like, we have Teddy Bluger at home.
Teddy Bluger?
Theodore's Blugers.
That's his. No, that is Teddy Bluger. That's just his
Is it? Okay.
Latvian name, I guess, his non-anglicized name.
How do you even say that? Is it Theodore's?
Theodore's Blugers. I don't know. I can't do a Latvian accent. I don't know what it sounds like.
It's interesting that the last name becomes like plural like that.
Yeah. And they did announce 2 goalies, Merzlikins and Shilovs, which I think they were the only team to do that.
And Uvis Belinskis.
Uvis Belinskis, there you go. Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champion. Zemgus Girgensons, great name. France with Texier and Belmar, notable NHL players, but I mean Belmar's like 39 or something like that, so
yeah.
I think that's just fun, like last little hurrah for him to get to rep his country in international play. Couple Vegas players as well. I'll shout out. We already mentioned Eichel, but also Jonas Ronbjerg for Denmark, one of the 6 named, along with Freddie Anderson, Nikolai Ehlers, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jesper Jensen Abo. I don't know him, and Lars Eller. I think the Abo is a defenseman, maybe not an NHL player.
Did you already mention Nico Sturm?
I have not mentioned him yet, but yes, he was named to Team Germany alongside Draisaitl, Seider, Grubauer, Reichel, and Tim Stutzla of the Ottawa Senators. There you go. That's something good, Owen.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for Sturm.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's 2-time Stanley Cup champion, and teams keep trading for him, so he's got to have some sort of value, I guess. They don't have a ton of NHL players either representing Germany, so yeah, we'll see as the full rosters get revealed. Again, we've got some time. February 2026 is when we kick off. I think they did announce the full dates. The 12-team men's tournament will take place from February 11th to February 22nd, and the women's is, I think it wraps up a little bit earlier, but it's pretty similar. So
As
that's,
far as
that's
the
fun.
Bruins representation, only 2 so far. We got Pasternak and McAvoy, so no Swayman. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure he'll be on the team. I don't know if he'll be the starter, but
He's got to be there. Where did they?
You got
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chandler.
You got Switzerland representing the Devils, baby.
Oh, they are loaded. Yeah, actually, there's like
And Timo, baby.
I think there's 6 Devils players that have already been announced, which I believe is the most of anybody. Yeah, Siegenthaler,
Yeah.
Heischer,
Yeah.
and Meyer. So that's pretty good.
It's outside of U.S. I'll be rooting for Switzerland.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes named or not. Well, I think Jack Hughes would probably be named eventually. We'll see how his recovery continues this offseason, but I would expect him to be named. You've got Tatar for Slovakia, and then I think there were a couple. Oh, Palat for Czechia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was one other one. I'm just quickly scanning to make sure. Simon Nemec as well for Slovakia. So that's fun. A lot of representation, and it'll just be exciting to watch NHL players at the Olympics. Literally something I've never done. So that will be a lot of fun. And we'll definitely have to get into the groups. Here we go. So Group A, Canada, Czechia, Switzerland, and France. Group B, Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and Italy. And Group C, United States, Germany, Latvia, and Denmark. I think Group C will be pretty fun, but I mean, yeah, they should all be interesting. And we got lots of time to speculate and see more players get announced and all that jazz. And what happens with the All-Star festivities that were going to be taking place at UBS Arena. They basically said they're not doing a full All-Star weekend, but they're going to do something. So that's going to be kicking off probably a week or 2 before Olympics get underway. So yeah, we'll report on that when we know.
I'm just watching the goal from the first AHL Finals game because I mean I heard what happened, but I hadn't actually watched it yet.
Yeah, Chandler, did you hear at all what happened with Game 1 of the Calder Cup final?
No.
So to fill you and the rest of the viewers in on what's going on there, so it's Abbotsford Canucks versus Charlotte Checkers. We'll just skip to that the game ends up going into overtime, eventually double overtime, and there is a offensive zone draw for Charlotte where they quickly win the face-off and score, but
I think the Abbotsford center wins it back.
Oh, he wins it back. Okay. Thank you. So, either way, it looks like there's a goal and that Charlotte has just won the game because Shilovs was facing towards the goal and not even looking, he was not ready. And then he was
talking to the ref, I think.
Wow.
So he's just, stunned, obviously, and the players think that they won, that they've scored and won the game, and there's one of the angles you can see where one of the linesmen is, has his hand up because he can see that Shilovs is not ready. So they ended up reviewing it and, disallowing the goal because he wasn't ready. I did see later that there was a specific rule cited for for why that didn't count. Obviously, he was not ready, and it was just a miscommunication. The referee dropping the puck did not see that the linesman there was indicating that Shilovs was not, in his crease. Well, he was in it, but he was just, facing the wrong way. So they end up calling that one back, and then later Abbotsford on, I believe it was a delay of game penalty, get the power play goal overtime winner to steal game one. And Shilovs had a great performance throughout that whole game. Like 50
They were
saves.
saying on 32 Thoughts that like the center's job should also be to make sure your whole team's ready before like going up to the face-off dot. So that, and also like probably not great to win face-offs at your goalie in general. Even if
Yeah.
he's ready.
That must have been a mistake. I would hope so. Anyways.
I mean, he was set up to win it that way, so like I don't know.
Maybe you just didn't think that one all the way through.
Maybe it's double overtime. You're tired. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll give him that. But definitely a crazy start. The game was in Charlotte, so tough one for the fans in person who stayed up that late to watch the team look like they were gonna win and then eventually lose the game. They do end up winning game 2. That one also goes to overtime. No crazy shenanigans there. And then game 3 in Abbotsford for the first time was last night, same night as game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. And Abbotsford with a 6-1 win. Arshdeep Baines and Linus Carlson had some great nights, couple goals. And that one was a pretty fun one. I just watched the recap. I was like, I'm not staying up for this. After the cup was awarded, I'm like, I'm ready to be done. I gotta get up for work tomorrow. But it looked like a fun one, and so the Abbotsford Canucks have the opportunity to win the cup at home if they win their next 2 games. So. That'll be
maybe the hockey guy will actually get to see a team he likes win.
Yeah, he is going to be attending the next 2 games. So, I believe the next 2 games in person. So, that would be fun.
Cool.
Always rooting for him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't really like the Canucks, but
no.
Abbotsford, sure, that's fine. Give him something.
I guess.
Yeah. So. I think, I've decided we're going to hold off on ending this season until after the Calder Cup is awarded, which the latest would be Game 7 on next Wednesday, so a week from when we're recording this. So that would be the latest that we would know. And then all of the North American Cups will have been awarded and come and gone, so we'll be officially in off-season mode for hockey. Oh, scary.
Oh, what about the Ice Monkeys Cup?
Oh, shoot. Summer League. You're right. It's Dean's Den.
Dean's Den. Well, our last game is a month away, July 20th, and then playoffs after that. But we don't have to wait that long.
Okay, good.
But yeah, we just played the second place team as we are still the 5th place team, and we lost 2-1. So it was a good game. We played well. I did not score the 1 goal. Still on a bit of my drought, but
dang,
that's okay. So I just have two random clips. I'm not really involved in either of them, actually. I guess I'm in one of them, but I'm not really like the main character,
Not featured.
But yeah. Anyway, this was almost the like best play we've had as a team, but there was no goal. But like it's what could have been.
Yeah. Those
So
keep
this
you up
is
at night.
our defender with the puck, 68 years of age.
Oh,
With
damn.
1 dangle, broken ankles, double dangle, wide open backdoor. couldn't score. I was like,
Damn.
how cool of a play would that have been?
That would have been sick.
And then, we got to also have like a blooper in here, right?
Sure.
So we got the Haynes defensive pair. We got the son and the where's his dad and father. There we go.
Oh no.
Tries to clear it. Big whiff. The pass wasn't great, so they don't end up capitalizing on it. But it was just funny because his son tries to force a pass to me, just intercepted, and then just
Damn. that's
the big
a tough
wind up,
look.
big whiff.
Man.
That's all I got this week.
Those are incredible. I love it.
That was still
So yeah,
good.
we got four games left. We play this coming weekend. We play the third place team that has the same record as the team we just played. So we'll see. But you know what we got going for us? We're the most penalized team in the division. So
Rough and tumble. I like it.
we're trying to be like the Panthers, right?
Gotta start scoring.
The first place team is second in penalties. So
Oh. So you guys are 2-3-1.
sure are.
Alrighty.
A -1 goal differential.
Gotta step it up in the final stretch here, which it's
Hey,
crazy
but
saying final stretch already.
The only other thing we have in common with the first place team were the two teams that have both a power play goal and a shorthanded goal.
Oh, at least you're capitalizing on your special teams. Shorthanded's got to be
kinda.
pretty rare. Got to be comparatively for the league. Obviously not.
Yeah.
Not at an
We're like
NHL
6%
caliber.
instead of 5%.
Yeah, right. But that's something.
Yep.
I also we could have threw this in earlier, but I kind of forgot about it. So the buyout
I just
window.
go by the order of the list.
Yeah, the
Can't fault
buyout
me for
window
that.
opens up this Friday. So, we always talk about some candidates. I don't expect there to be a ton of crazy buyouts, especially with the cap increasing. Like, there's, better chance that you're able to stick with a contract or at least trade it for just some retained salary, and it'll be all right. But yeah, that's something to also keep an eye on. It's just another off-season item to think about. Again, the hockey brain constantly working in my skull. Always thinking about this stuff, and of course all the insiders. They jump on it right away. They're like, "Oh, we got the deadlines. You got to know," especially because they're getting close to their off season, like when they finally get to take a break.
Right. I guess the other NHL newsworthy thing coming up soon will probably be the locker room cleanouts with like the injury announcements.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we've already kind of heard that like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was playing through like a finger, hand, wrist, something injury, and then obviously like Hyman, we know, had the big injury that wasn't really a secret because he wasn't coming back or playing in the rest of that series. So.
Yep, I saw Barkov had like a pretty slashed up hand, like there was some pretty bad scar on his right hand. Tkachuk had, what was he dealing with? He
had a separated
abductor, or something was off of the bone,
which they were talking about on 32 Thoughts. Like, it did happen during that Four Nations game, but they haven't confirmed. They think it happened during the fight.
Oh, dang. Well, he still played through it, and that's part of the reason why he wasn't as productive as last year. But that's the benefit of being the Florida Panthers, is they don't need Matthew Tkachuk to be McDavid, be Draisaitl. He just has to play as best as he can, and the rest of the team will pick it up. So yeah, that's good. They had a couple other guys, I think I saw.
I mean, he still scored a goal in the game final game of the series.
He scored the second goal, I think.
Game-winning goal, then.
That's true. Yeah, wow. Because, wait, didn't Edmonton score 2 goals?
I thought it was just one.
in the final game.
Maybe it was just one. Puckholzen?
Just one.
I think he was the only one.
I'm gonna check what goal Kachuk scored. I think it was the second, right?
I think so. I should remember. It was just last night.
Yeah, it was. So there you go. Game-winning goal.
Nice. Well, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we got. We have another season ending with the Florida Panthers on top, and they didn't take too long to go from a pretty sad team that nobody really respected to a team that everybody despises and envies, which happens with the successful teams. It's always going to happen. I mean, Tampa Bay has been hated by fans for a while for what they've needed to do, like using LTIR. Same thing with Vegas. Same thing with Florida. So there you go. Congratulations to them. Not who we were pulling for here. Yeah, no.
I guess.
I'm not too thrilled, but they definitely deserved it. They earned it this year. I think that's pretty clear with how dominant their playoffs was, and especially the finals. They made pretty easy work of the Hurricanes as well. Like, we kind of just glossed over that series during the season because of just how much of a non-factor Carolina was.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good at making other teams look like they're playing terribly.
Yeah. They just capitalize on little moments with their speedy, skilled players who can make plays physically and then convert. Like, that's just such a benefit. And of course, great defensive system too, shutting down the top players for Edmonton. McDavid had, I think, 7 points in the finals. Draisaitl had around the same. So you're keeping these players to 1 point a game, which, yeah, that's actually really good for McDavid and Draisaitl, and of course other notable names throughout the forward core for Edmonton didn't produce enough to overcome the lapses from the top guys. So again, been the storyline for a long time for Edmonton, even before they were making the finals. It's like we've seen this, and it's not quite as drastic as Toronto because, of course, they do still make it excruciatingly close, and Canada goes one more year without seeing Lord Stanley. 32 years now, 32 seasons. The curse continues. The joke continues. Whatever, depending on where you're from, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which I was like, it would be nice to finally get that narrative done with, but nothing I can do about it, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk all about it again next year. Sportsnet, all these Canadian networks are gonna be doing the whole which Canadian team is poised best this season to win the Stanley Cup. It's like, guys, none of you guys are winning it, okay? It's gonna be Florida versus Tampa Bay somehow in the finals. I don't know how they did it, but they found a way. Yeah. All right. I think that's what I have anyways. We ran out of stuff to bring up. We kind of glossed over some parts of the finals, but again, it's like there's so much you could break down just from the last game, and I think we'll leave that for folks a little bit more experienced in that field to do.
I'd agree with that.
Chandler, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us, dissecting the finals here, despite none of our teams making it. I think it was still entertaining as a fan. Obviously, we got the overtime games, 3 overtimes, 3 overtime games rather, 4 overtime periods. So lots of fun there, and now we await next season. Do it all over again.
And we'll see you for the podcast finale next week.
Yes, you will. We'll be
season
breaking
finale.
down.
We're not actually done, but
no, we just record next week, but we call it a new season. So we'll be back. But
not even a break between seasons.
Now we
That's
Well,
what we
off
should do.
season.
We should have our
Should
season
be grand.
change over the year because normally we take a break over Christmas. That could make some sense too, but too late to change things.
We've kind of already established it. Oh,
Full
well.
steam ahead, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, so we'll see you guys next week. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family. We did unfortunately not reach our 100 subscriber goal by the end.
We have one
of
more
the
week. What are you
season.
talking about?
Well, okay, yeah, I guess we'll have to extend it since our season's not over, even though the NHL season is wrapped up. So
I
yeah,
always meant the podcast season.
yeah, that's what obviously I meant too.
I meant the AHL season.
Right, right.
That's what I based it off of.
Everybody does, of course. It's the AHL. It's the big leagues, mostly.
You gonna watch all those games now?
We'll see. We'll see what I watch. So I'm trying to think. I should be able to watch tomorrow. Got the day off, so for Juneteenth, so I'll be able to do that.
Yes.
And then Saturday, I think, would be Game 5, and I mean that could be it. That could be the series. So that wouldn't be too difficult. And then I think it's Monday and Wednesday are the last two games. I will
You can
do my
watch
best.
some European League.
I think I was telling my coworker Mark, I'm like, I think I'll be still happy to have a little bit of a break.
It is kind of nice to like not have like obligations to watch hockey. Like I enjoy watching hockey, but I'm like, oh, I guess I can't make plans tonight because I'm already like watching the Stanley Cup Finals or whatever. So like it frees up your schedule, which is nice.
Yeah. Get some summertime fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Definitely.
that's what we got, Chandler. I'll let you go here. Last remarks. Feel free to sign us off.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a great season, guys. And remember, let's go Devils! And the bread hockey, baby.
Let's go.
All right, see you guys.
Good night. Chandler's getting all the behind the scenes knowledge on
Oh, yeah.
on the how the sausage is made.
I love it.